Namaste, greetings to everyone who is watching the Panorama International Literature Festival 2020. I am Shri Gulhati from Jammu, India. I am a Shaivite author and I have written 6 books, both poetry and prose. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The world is one big family. This is a topic very close to my heart, and I am sure all of you feel the same. I am going to read out some poems from one of my books, which is called Naam Roop, a tribute to the divine. So, the poems I am going to read are about 4 or 5 different sages who walked our earth and tried to tell us all that we all come from love and that we are all one. The first poem I am reading is about Baba Nanak, the great Guru of the Sikhs. The whole world is in gloom, sang Nanak, and this is strange. Coming from God, you should bloom. Take His name. His glory none can surmise. Take His name. This is wise. He is the one, the truth. He effects the change. Take His name. He is the guidance, the flight, and the plane. Take His name. Next, I will read out a poem called Sufis, and I'll show you a painting of this later. While all else is constant, we are variable, wandering in a land of time, nomads in thy dance. Touch, and sometimes we even feel what we come up against. But we are not part of it. We do not take. We heed the giving hand. Who says we lose our minds? We swing thy swing. Our swirls imbibe thy fathomless sign. Adrift in the winds of thy wing, our feet retain the dust of thy ground. Next, I will read out Jesus. Be still and know you are God's, children of the Most High, and yet you dwell in darkness, gauging always the light from the other's eye. The kingdom of heaven is ever at hand, but ages down the lane of time. Do you know not still what you do? That petitions the Lord for forgiveness and not for the ushering to His land. Now I read out a poem which is called Gurudev. Now Gurudev, in India, the Guru is one who teaches you, especially when he gets you back connected to your own spirituality. And Deva is a semi-god, a demigod. So calling the Guru Gurudeva is an acknowledgement that we think of our Guru as one who is God's own representation to us. Sadguru Dev Namai. Now that I meet the truth, he will give himself, I thought, but he simply took. All that darkness gone with just one look. What remained as resplendence was I, Sadguru Dev Namai. Welcome to yourself, he said. You looked for God, He gave you me. Mystic is the circle of return. I give you He. We are all reflections of we. Lighten up and see. Now I'll show you the painting of Sufis before I read out a prose from my other book to you, which is called Shiva, the Ultimate Time Traveler. This is a beautiful art done by a Delhi-based artist called Arpana Kaur, and this is called Sufi dance. So when they swirl and whirl in the memory and the love of the beloved. They don't lose their minds. They are actually fathoming his fathomless side. I have another book which is called Shiva, the Ultimate Time Traveler. And Shiva is the kind of gypsy god of Hinduism who lives mostly in the mountains. He wears long hair, as you've seen, and he is always very casual, very friendly, yet very powerful. So this is a passage from this book which really describes Vasudeva Kutumbakam, the world being one family. The background is that Shiva moves into the mountains and settles there to meditate and to live. And he is by himself, but he sees soon there are other birds and beasts who come up to him and they start enjoying his company. And the mountain is called Kailash. Shiva absolutely loved the crisp air of Kailash. There was a very pleasing aroma in the air always, which Shiva thought was the smell of freshness itself. There was no sense of time. Only the golden sunrise and sunset would indicate dawn and dusk. He loved all the birds and beasts that came to visit the mountains from the forests at their baseline. They were in absolute contrast to the people he had known in the city. Always natural, always spontaneous, always unabashed in their play, unlike the contrived displays in speech and gestures in the mannerisms of society. These beasts were exactly the kind of beings that would be termed uncouth, he thought to himself, but smiled because his own spirit resonated with them. This is the way to be. In the lap of nature itself, where one is natural, he thought. He had virtually all the self-containment that anybody could ask for. It was as if he had made the beasts and birds his family. Over time, some more beings who were different from humans and from the other beasts as well started joining in. Because Shiva is known to be the leader, the chieftain of almost extraterrestrial beings, people who have 3 eyes and 4 noses and stuff like that, which we are not used to. They're not very human to look at. So these beasts started joining in, creating an even more extended family. The word had spread that Shiva never asked anyone their antecedents, never questioned their strange appearance. It was enough for him that someone wanted to be part of his family. We are one big family, he would tell his forest friends. But we are different, they would say. Look, we have 3 eyes or then 2 noses. Some of us limp or then stammer. Our breath is called foul by others. We are different. Everyone is beautiful, he would reassure them. You all have your own beauty. You don't have to have 2 eyes just because we have 2. You could have 3 because you see more. Oh, but we are told you also have a 3rd eye. The beast would smile coyly and hug him. He was so understanding, so empathetic, so humane. Then again, at times, insecure with their own appearance, they would ask sincerely, what are we really? Are we from other planets? Are we from some other time? Why are we so different? What are our origins and our purpose? You are the elementals, he said. Elementals? Ultimately, we are all elements. Some of us are formed distinctively into humans, lions, tigers, the oxen. But ultimately, we are all from the elements, aren't we? So you are beautiful in your own way, with features that mark you out. You are different, but goodly different. Some of the most beautiful are unlike any other, aren't they? He said, looking at Nandi the bull, who beamed as he slashed his tail in the air like a saber. So he continued gently, you are simply the elementals. This is an acknowledgement of the fact that we are all elements of nature. Shiva was the lord of Tantra. a unique system of weaving together God's science and manifestation. He often taught his ganas, friends, the Tantra, saying, all of science is merely a notation of God's art. From the beginning of time, just like a musician plays his music from a notation, so too, whatever the scientific man discovers has in fact already been artistically painted by Mother Nature into the world. And then with a nostalgic tone he would add, you see, from the very beginning of the world there was an interplay of Shiva and Shakti. I, a poet, and she, an artist. Whatever I sang in divine verse, she painted on the canvas of the world, and life began. Whatever you see around you has been given by your mother. All things have come from the same origin, with the intention of love and togetherness and sharing. Thus too, my friends of Kailash, you will form the Ganatantra, the republic of all friends of God, in the spirit of sharing, he would declare with the leader's authority. So too, it was that the council functioned as a republic, a totally consensus-based machinery. Conference and consensus with all parts are the essence of Ganatantra, he told them. Ganatantra asked the elementals with eyes wide in awe, much in the childlike spirit that Shiva loved. Yes, the circle of friends and co-wayfarers. People sometimes have such ambitious ideas about republics, they look skywards, that they forget the simplest laws of all. Our weave in this universe begins with our own childhood playmates, our neighbors, our village brothers, kinsmen and tribe. It is only after we tend to those who are right here in our own reality that we may then talk of bigger things. Ultimately, we can only come to understand Niyati, the lofty cosmostatic balance, when we learn to love the minute details of our own dear ones. For what is here is everywhere. What is not here is nowhere. It is how it should be, he would say with the same divine authority. One who has any knowing of the interplay of love will know that it does not allow for servility. So it came to be that the Ganas loved their uncrowned king as their best friend. Why I read this passage out to you about a long, long time ago of Shiva in the mountains is because this aptly describes God's vision of one big family. Ganatantra is officially republic, and we have that all over the world. We have republics and nations. But there is an unnamed republic, that of Mother Nature and God, which makes us one big family, which we always are and always will be. I hope that you have liked some of this and that you continue to be a happy world family. Namaste.
Thank you.